Today, you should be in your packets on the page that says AR Verbs. And in that page, or on that page, part of what you did yesterday had to do with what we're going to be talking about today. What I mean by that is, yesterday when you were with your sub, I left a video for you guys and I was explaining to you that when you're talking about yourself doing an action, like I listen or I study or something like that, you had to do something with your verb. You couldn't just say, yo enseñar. What did that mean? I to teach, okay? It didn't make any sense. What did you do with enseñar? What did you do, Cody?
Take the AR off.
You took the AR off, and then what did you do, Amelia?
Added an O.
I added an O,
job.
okay? So when you were all done, it would say yo enseño, and that looked a lot better. Enseñar is an AR verb, and yesterday you guys learned how to conjugate or how to change the verb for just one form, just for yo. Today, by the end of this lesson, you guys are going to know how to conjugate all the different forms of AR verbs, okay? So you should be on this page in your packet, and you should be ready to take notes, so you should have a writing utensil. Okay, take a look at this. It says AR verbs. Before we get too far, let's talk about the English language for just 1 second. Consider the verb to be. We're going to conjugate the verb to be really quickly. And by the way, it just says here in small letters, what the heck does conjugate mean? That's a really good question. Conjugating means to change a verb. It's a very fancy grammatical term. You don't need to worry about it. Whenever you hear the word conjugate, just think change, okay? If I ask you to conjugate a verb, I'm asking you to change the verb for the different subjects. So, in English, we have the verb to be. But we don't say things, and we don't sound smart if we say things like, I be tall, you be short, he be funny, whatever it may be, okay? We change that verb, we conjugate that verb. So instead of saying I be, we say I am tall. You are short, instead of you be short. He is funny, she is smart, whatever it may be. And then all the way over here, it's we are, you all are, and they are. These ones are all the same in the plural side. But this right here, this is a conjugated verb. We've changed this verb. We changed it from to be, which is the infinitive, to the conjugated form, okay? Infinitive means unconjugated. So the verb to be has 3 different forms in the present tense. Am is one of them. Are and is all come from the verb to be in English. So you guys have seen this before, right? Yeah. Think about the verb to speak. In English, we say a couple different things. We say, I speak, you speak, but how do you say he? He speaks. You put an S on the end of it. So we have a couple different forms in English as well. Now in English, most of our verbs only have 2 forms. In Spanish, they have 6 forms. So, sorry, it's a little bit more complicated. But here's what we're going to take a look at today. In Spanish, verbs are conjugated too. Today we are going to talk about verbs that end in the letters AR. It says right here to take a moment and go back through vocab 1 and vocab 2 and highlight, underline, or circle all the verbs that end in AR, but I kind of already did that for you, so you don't need to worry about that. Because this right here is the list that you guys were using yesterday, the words that end in AR, correct? Up to about right here, that's from vocab 1. These ones come from vocab 2, and these ones come from the supplementary list. These ones were new yesterday. I hope that you guys wrote those ones down. If you haven't yet, please make sure you do at some point. Okay? So, all of those words right there that you just saw, let me go back to that list. Those are all verbs. These are action words. To teach, to speak, to study, to listen, to watch, to pay attention, to raise, to answer, to take. All of those are action words, okay? They're not super high action like kick or jump or, I don't know, something exciting like that. But instead, those are just boring action verbs, I guess you could say. So, this is the part that you really, really need to pay attention to. This is how you conjugate verbs in Spanish. Yesterday, when you had to conjugate the verb, when you had to change it, what was the first thing that you did with the verb? What did you do? What did you do with that AR? What did you do with it in terms of before you put the O on? You chopped it up, right? Okay. So the first thing you did is you took the AR ending off the verb. Okay? You did this yesterday. You just didn't know what you were doing. Okay? Now we're kind of putting it into a formula. The first step whenever you conjugate a verb in Spanish is you take the AR ending off the verb. So for instance, for example, hablar, what does hablar mean?
Talk.
To talk, very good, or to speak. The first thing that you do with hablar, if you're deciding like, okay, I need to conjugate the verb hablar, is what do you do with it?
Take off the AR.
Take off the AR. So you're left with H-A-B-L. Habla. Habla. It's not even a real word, okay? Habl, or something like that. No, it's not ha. Remember, you don't say the H. So, that is called the stem, or sometimes people call it the root of the verb, okay? Whatever you want to call it, that's the part that is like it's the stem. It's the part of the verb that does not change, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Those first four letters will always stay the same. Ever, ever, ever. The second step that you're going to do, what did you do after you took off the AR?
No.
You added an O, okay? So the second step is you're going to add an ending that matches the subject. Okay? You're going to add an ending that matches the subject. For example, when you had yo, you added what? O, okay? Down here in this box, it says, here are the endings for AR verbs. The one that you guys already learned yesterday is O. So you can go ahead and add that one in there. You guys already learned that yo, whenever you have the word, or whenever you have the subject yo, like I speak, I listen, I kiss, I love, I hate, whatever it may be, you took off the AR and you added O on the end of it. Yo enseño, yo estudio, yo escucho, yo hablo, yo odio, yo beso, yo amo, whatever it may be, those all ended in O, right? Okay, good. I'm glad that you had all of them ending in O. But that's not the only subject, okay? I do some stuff, but you do some stuff, and so does he, and so does she, and so do we, and so do they, and all that good stuff. So, the next thing that we're going to learn is for to, what does to mean? You, okay? So for to, the ending, whenever you're talking about you, hey, you listen, you talk, you speak, you hate, etc., it's as is the ending. So instead of adding an O like you did for yo, you're going to add a different ending. And you cannot mix those endings. So for instance, I can't say yo hablas. What that means is you speak. That doesn't make any sense. Or you can't say to enseño. That means I teach. It's bizarre. So you don't mix them, okay? If you ever have the subject I, it has to end in yo, or in O. If you ever have the subject to, you, it has to end in as. Are you guys with me so far?
Yes.
See? Okay. The next thing that you guys have is you have él, ella, and usted. Él means what? He. Ella means? She. And usted means? You formal. Okay? Now, he, she, and you formal all end with the subject pronoun, all end with the verb ending of a. For instance, tell me, how would you say, let's see here, let's go back to the AR verb list. Okay, let's go to this last column over here. How would you say he sings? He sings. What are you going to do with that verb to sing?
Wouldn't it be like canta?
It would be canta. El canta is he sings. How about she loves? She loves. Go down here. This is the verb to love. What's the word for she?
Ella.
Ella. Ella, and then this would be what? When did you conjugate it? Ama. Very good. Ella ama. How about he kisses? Right here. What's he? El besa. El besa. How about she travels? Down here. Ella viaja. Kind of a funny word. Okay, now usted means what? That's also in that box. Usted. would you, if you're talking to me, how would you say, Mrs. Prudhomme, you dance? Usted baila. Usted baila. How would you say, Mrs. Prudhomme, you finish?
That looks like terminate.
Terminate means to finish. If you terminate somebody, you finish them off. So, you finish, Mrs. Prudhomme. Termina. Okay?
You're a
So,
termina.
good.
I finished.
I called you meanie.
Let's go on to the right side. What are all of these subjects on the right? Why are they all on the right side?
Because they're plural.
They're all plural subjects. They're all more than one person. So, nosotros and nosotras means what? We, okay? Your ending for we is amos. Amos. A-M-O-S. Amos. A little bit, maybe. Yeah. Different letter. Amos. So, for instance, if you take a look at here, over here again, how would you say we study? You're going to take off your AR, and what would you add? Estudiamos. Nosotros estudiamos. Very good. We answer. We answer. Right here. This is to answer. Ooh, that's tough. Contestamos. Contestamos. Yes, ma'am. The question in the back.
How do you say amar?
Amamos. Amamos. We love is amamos. Amamos.
I say adore.
How would you say that? How do you say we adore? Adoramos. Adoramos. Very good. Okay. Next one. You all. Chicos. You all. You all is in Spain. Vosotros and vosotras. Your ending for vosotros and vosotras is ice. Ice. Ice, bebe. So, vosotros and vosotras both end in ice. Let's take a look at, again, this list. Just a couple of examples. How would you say you all sing? Vosotros cantáis. You all kiss. Vosotros besáis. Very good. Okay.
Hey, I got her.
Kinda.
Last one. Ellos, ellas, and ustedes. What does ellos mean? They, as in a group of
Boys.
Guys and girls.
guys or guys and girls. Ellas is
Girls.
they as in girls. And ustedes is not we. You all. Where? In Spain or Latin America?
Latin America.
Latin America. Okay? So this is they, and you all. Your ending for this subject pronoun, or for these subject pronouns I should say, is an. A-N. A-N. Okay? So, o, as, a, amos, ice, an. Let's do a couple of examples with ustedes and ellos. How would you say they surf, as in to surf the web, right here?
Wait, they?
They. Ellos. Navegan. Navegan. Very good. I hear a couple of you guys saying it. They study. Ellos estudian. How about you all send? Ustedes envían. And then the last one, you all need. Ustedes necesitan. Necesitan. Because they're tripping over these words. Okay. So, go ahead and pause the video real quickly.
Pause.
Just hit the red button.